Welcome back, folks, to the Healthy Habit Podcast. We're checking in here with our monthly check-in with Mr. Steven Harkins, and I'm your host, Dr. Dayan of Healthy Habit Medical Center, located right inside Healthy Habit Health Foods. And this is episode 181 of the Healthy Habit Podcast. One of the last times we talked with Steven was in episode 165. There might have been one more after that, but 165 was the Inflammation 101 episode, where we highlighted hemp and curcumin. There's the Canna Curcumin product at North American, which combines the cannabis, canna, and then curcumin, Canna Curcumin. We talked about the Turmeric Power Plus gel caps, the Inflamease formula as well. We even highlighted when someone should consider taking the Inflamease over something like the Turmeric Power Plus. So, important episode. I highly recommend you go check out 165 of the podcast here. And Steven Harkins is the Director of Education at North American Urban Spice, a company based out of Illinois, who's come and visited us multiple times here in the desert, right here in Phoenix. So we'll be looking out. We hope to see you again here soon, Steven. So welcome back.
Thank you so much. I would love to be over there right now. It's a lot warmer. So it's really good to be on, and I'm happy to get into it again.
And for those listening in right now, this was recorded on December 12th, so we're releasing this. It's probably March by the time you're hearing this, so it's still cold here, even that time of year. And we're going to be talking all things immune system, immune support, and things that you can even get ready heading into the next winter time, so you can get your medicine chest and medicine cabinet ready to go with everything that we're going to be talking about today, especially like the 4 best immune allies we wanted to highlight, like the Turkish black seed oil, Oreganol P73, Polar Power, and then something called Purely Zinc, which is really unique. It's a food-based zinc. So let's start off with Purely Zinc.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting that people kind of tend to think about immune support as a season where we get real serious about it in the winter and maybe a bit in the spring, but then we kind of forget about it in the summer. And what I've noticed this time around is things are different now. We live in a world where we have these threats and our immune system needs support all year long. And we really do well to be proactive and aware, all 4 seasons. What are we doing to strengthen our immune system? So zinc is a great example of this. It's literally, so this is a nutrient that it's a mineral. And if you don't have it, your immune system gets weaker. And how does that happen? So you may have heard, zinc is good for the immune system, but how, right? So we have one mechanism is there's a gland, it's called thymus, the thymus gland, and it's part of your immune system. And it's responsible for producing these immune cells, these T cells and things, as a response to any kind of threat where your immune system has to fight. And if you have that threat and you don't have a strong thymus gland or you don't have the zinc, you will not produce these cells. And actually, from age 20 and on, your thymus is already shrinking in size. And as we get older, it shrinks even more. And if you don't have zinc, it's going to shrink even faster.
Wow.
So they have found this in these studies that zinc is the key to unlocking the thymus gland to fight, so that the immune system can fight for you.
Wow, and I'm going to pull up, just because most people aren't familiar with the thymus gland necessarily.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we'll pull that up, because that might be the first time we've ever even mentioned the thymus here on the podcast. So thank you for that, my friend. That's important. And then quickly, as I'm doing that, go into Purely Zinc for us. What's going to be separating this form of zinc compared to different zinc? We have an entire section here with zinc, selenium, various minerals, boron. What's going to be separating this form of zinc compared to the others, and break down the product for us?
Well, that's easy to answer because the zinc that we're offering here is a pumpkin seed source. So this is a food source. Pumpkin seeds are some of the highest. It is the highest food source other than mussels if you're eating those clams and things like that. But pumpkin seeds are extremely high in zinc. So this is a powder from an Austrian source. And we even put vitamin C in there because we know how much of a synergist that is for the immune system. And it's all food.
Amazing. So, it's less likely that you're going to risk overdosing necessarily because it's in a food-based version. It's not just zinc, because when you're taking that powder, you're getting other things as well. And you can see here I pulled up the Purely Zinc from North American Urban Spice, and Again, it says right here, Austrian pumpkin seed, rice bran, and camu camu. And one thing I love is that they break down all the other nutrients you're getting in here. It's not just zinc, right, Stephen?
Oh no, I mean we'd sell it very
This is
short to
dense.
stop at zinc. Pumpkin seeds are a huge source of a lot of things, as well as magnesium, very high in magnesium. And you've got your your B vitamins in this formula. The minerals are amazing, and a lot of us are not getting enough. You know, we might think about vitamins and we kind of forget about minerals, but you need them for your bones and you need them as electrolytes, and they do support your hormone systems, and zinc will do that too. So having these all together in and just throwing something like 2 tablespoons is the serving amount in your smoothie in the morning. And then also the absorption factor that your body recognizes food, and that's you're always going to get the highest absorption rates from the food source. Look at the
100%.
protein,
Yeah,
12
I was
grams of
about to say that.
protein.
Yeah, exactly. And it's in a plant-based version. You know, a lot of people, they don't get tons of plant protein. They're fine on their chicken breasts and their turkey and their steaks and eggs and cheeses and things like that, but they're not really getting tons of protein from the plant kingdom, like in this
You
case
know
from
what?
rice bran. Go ahead.
It's hard to find complete proteins in plant
Sure.
sources. Pumpkin seeds do have all the essential amino acids. It's a complete protein source. And the iron is very impressive too. So you've got the top three minerals, zinc, magnesium, and iron, all in one spot.
Mm. Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally. That's an underrated part of this formula, the iron at 20% and phosphorus even 40. So, yeah, it's called purely zinc, but it's like a multi-mineral as well. And you can see here purely zinc provides in one serving, which Stephen was just saying is 2 tablespoons, 40% of the daily need for men, 52% of the daily need for women. So, and I like here,
Yeah.
get your zinc the way your body was made to use it. So this is the
If you think
purely zinc.
about it, how much zinc are you really getting? Are you getting enough? You're probably not even thinking about it until you get sick. But proactively, during this time and this stretch, you know, this is a great way to just know, kind of cover these bases that you are getting.
Again, you can even add it to baking recipes, great in yogurt, desserts, hot or cold cereal, soup, entrees. Throw it in
Yeah.
juice, milk, or even smoothies. That might be a practical way is smoothies. When a lot of people make their morning smoothie, you can just toss that in there. And here's just a highlight of that thymus gland that Stephen was just referring to, so you can kind of see a visual of it. It's right there above the heart. You can see just in front of that trachea between the lungs. Super important for the immune system. So thanks again for highlighting that, Stephen.
You
Perfect.
bet.
So where can something like Oreganol P73 play a role in this? One of the OGs, one of the classics here at North American Urban Spice. I would say it's probably the highest quality oregano that we have access to. One of them, definitely in North America. But let's hear your thoughts on it.
Well, yeah, we love oregano is one of the most. I was talking about this to someone else. It's one of the highest purgative agents that you can get. So you're trying to get something out of the body that you don't want in. And that's part of your response that helps the immune system. You know, think about the mucus. We want to get that out when we got the sinus stuff going on. Oregano just really helps with that. And yes, oregano in general, the studies are very conclusive. It is one of the best herbs you can take for your immune system, very high in antioxidants. It has these interesting plant chemicals like carvacrol and thymol and rosmarinic acid and others. But what we have found, and this is the whole basis for why the company got started, is that wild oregano really has the top tier benefits of, and there's over 80 species of oregano. Like, who would have thought that it would be that complex in nature's kingdom, that you have that many different types of oregano? So we went out and investigated, or I should say, Miss Judy, our owner, which ones give you the most potency for the immune system and to help you deal with these threats. And we took that blend of about 4 different species, put them together, being sourced in the wild. So that's really why we call it Oreganol P73. And the fact that you can take this on a daily basis without worrying about eliminating too much of the good, healthy bacteria.
Right, and it can even be used classically in gut health with bloating, gas, SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, because it can kill off the bad bacteria, potentially keep the good ones. But I've seen it combined with peppermint to reduce bloating and gas and heartburn and things like that. So it's such a versatile herb. And is it true that it's picked in like remote, like no pollution areas, high regions, wild Mediterranean? Tell us about the sourcing of the P73.
The legends are true. So, are there actually places in the world that don't have pollution and contamination and pesticides and GMOs? There's a few places left. And there are, especially in mountainous regions where people don't live, and so there's not a lot of human activity or farming going on. So in Turkey, for example, there are quite a few of these mountain ranges that we make use of that have these different strains growing. And yes, they are handpicked the old way, and there are no contaminants nearby. And we can verify that because we actually get testing the moment that it's harvested. We get testing ourselves when it comes and ships to us. And then we have a third-party lab just to make sure that there's no microbials or bacterial things or heavy metals going on. And so you always have that assurance from us.
Incredible. And we all remember the late, great Dr. Cass Ingram talking about oregano, and he was instrumental in getting that all set up, right, with the sourcing. And it's incredible. He would post videos on his own YouTube channel out in the wilderness talking about herbs. Unbelievable guy. We all miss him. So, by the way, Stan the Demo Man, folks. He demos every Friday and Saturday here at Healthy Habit Health Foods, North American Herb and Spice Products. He does the demos, but he also has literature, free books with the purchase of any products that we're discussing here today. And he's on the front lines there. Stan has all the goods there and samples as well, literature too. People like diving deeper, and instead of just taking the product, they want to know where it's coming from. That's why I'm asking about the sourcing and books as well. So Stan has the collection there. Go talk to Stan the Demo Man in-house, Fridays, Saturdays demoing. So perfect on that. And I wanted to do one more note on zinc. We talked about purely zinc a moment ago. Super important for men's health, Stephen. I have a lot of male clients here, male patients that come see me for prostate issues. And BPH, it's called benign prostatic hyperplasia, where enlarged prostate is what most people know it as, which can then progress to prostate cancer. And United States has one of the highest rates in the world of prostate cancer, whereas in places like Japan and the Middle East, it's like a fraction of what men here in the West are dealing with. So zinc is critical in regulating prostate size and health as well. So keep that in mind for the men's health perspective as well. Did you want to add anything to that, Steven?
Yeah, absolutely. We love zinc from the powder, from the pumpkin seeds and their powder, where you get those high amounts. It's absolutely critical as a hormone signaler, and even for testosterone production in the body for men, and women need testosterone too. And zinc is involved for women as well, and for their fertility, for the fertility and reproduction situation. And, zinc is involved in our mental health, our neurological cognitive function. Zinc works with B6 to actually help some of these very important neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine in the body. So it's so critical. I would say magnesium and zinc are your top next to the iron, and you get them all together in one package.
Right. Not to flip-flop too much, but I just had that extra thought there on the zinc. I had to share that because of how many men come see me for prostate concerns. So keep that in mind, folks. Purely zinc. And then Oreganol P73. There's different forms. There's the super strength. There's the liquid tincture options. There's the soft gel versions as well, Stephen. How does somebody know how to navigate that, where to start with?
And before I answer that question, just a side note on hyperplasia with the prostate swelling and the inflammation. The pumpkin seed oil is also, there's a lot of research around that in terms of helping with the swelling and the inflammation support. So pumpkin seed oil with the pumpkin powder and even oregano is a great combination that can be used.
And you have the oil, is it literally called pumpkin seed oil?
That is called Pumpkinol over there, Pumpkinol. And you can take the oil and you can take the powder together. And I would, if you had a prostate scenario.
I'll pull that up right here. This is NorthAmericanHerbandSpice.com for the YouTube viewers. We got pumpkin and then OL at the end, like oreganol, but pumpkinol. You can also get to this website by typing in oregano with an L at the end, oreganol.com will also take you to their website here at North American Urban Spice. Here's that
Thank you.
freshly cold pressed Pumpkinol, healthy whole body hormonal support. And there it is on there, healthy prostate support. I'm so happy that's on there. That's
There
a
you
really
go.
good, unique way to get the benefits of pumpkin. And this naturally has vitamin E and those plant sterols in there. So this can potentially also help. We're not giving medical advice, but plant sterols have been shown in numerous studies to help balance the cholesterol levels in the blood, take pressure off the arteries and the heart. Of course, we need cholesterol. There's this trend now on social media, Steven, that cholesterol can be at 300. Great, no problem. No, it needs to be at a certain level, and then otherwise it can start causing damage. I'm not in the category that cholesterol needs to be at like 105. It should still be up there so that we have enough fuel, raw material to make testosterone and other hormones
right.
downstream. But this can help regulate and keep it into the right balance. So keep that in mind as well. This is Austrian source as well, Styrian Austrian source. So thank you, Steven, for highlighting that right there. And then we're going to pivot real quick because this relates to everything we've been discussing: cardiovascular health, prostate health, inflammation, immune system. Really good pair with oreganol and zinc is the Turkish black seed oil. Let's hear your thoughts on black seed.
Yeah, black seed is incredible. If I count, I mean, every person can benefit because it is every system in the body, and it just enhances everything in the body. So, it has a lot of overlap with oregano. It's very interesting. The histamine situation with allergies, oregano is good, but black seed is too. Some people prefer black seed because it can be more gentle. So if you have sensitivities in your gut, or you're younger or older, or gut problems and things, black seed can be an alternative. Some people during pregnancy or who are lactating may rather go to the black seed. Oregano can be a little harsher with the carvacrol. That's not a bad thing, but depending on where you are, black seed could be the better one. And so it's great for immune support. It's great for digestion. It's great for heart health. As you can see there, we put the heart healthy in terms of your blood pressure, in terms of your cholesterol, in terms of your heart muscle. So we love it as an overall cardiovascular ally for us, but everything that it does. So respiratory wise, oftentimes when our immune system goes down, there could be some infection or itis or inflammation in our lungs, and we struggle to breathe. And black seed is a vasodilator, meaning it relaxes the airways and the blood vessels around the lungs. So you can use it in that manner, and certainly for allergies as well. And, you just take a teaspoon at a time. You can also put it with honey if you're concerned about the taste. Really, honey helps a lot to get it down.
Right, and the ingredients here in this particular one, there's even the Black Seed Cardio Plus, there's the soft gel version, but in just the standard oil of black seed that you can see here on the screen, the freshly cold pressed, it has as the ingredients 100% cold pressed extra virgin black cumin seed oil, and that's it. Guaranteed non-GMO. It's just straight to the point if you're looking for a black seed. And you can go read for 5 hours on just all the benefits of black seed oil, and let's say just say cardiovascular health. Of course, we like to add that word scholar on there to factor out the blogs on there. That's someone that randomly just started a blog. So you can see here, also known as Nigella sativa oil, lowering blood pressure, improving cholesterol, treating dyslipidemia. What is that? Well, that's just when you have an imbalance of the cholesterol numbers of the right proportions of where they're supposed to be. So flowering plant that's been used in the Middle East, India, Northern Africa, Europe for medicinal purposes. And then you can see the fruit contains black seeds that are considered to be the most important part of the plant for their health benefits. So you can
That's
research,
amazing.
isn't it?
Google AI. I mean, the search is getting even more effective, right? So you can just go in here and type something like what Dr. Dehan did, and it already says a lot more than what we can say as a company. So you have that power in your fingertips.
Yeah. The Google AI is absolutely underrated. It's super accurate, and and they have the links with it here compared to just a standard Google search. No, it's really good. It's really good stuff there. So, and then you can even see Prophet Muhammad. There's the classic quote, right? You want to take this one, Steven?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I was saying it's for every system of the body because yes, he did say black seed can heal every disease except for death. Well, we'll give you
Right.
that one, right? That's
Yeah.
we don't know anything that can heal that yet.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
every disease, what? So I mean, we're not saying that ourselves that we can prevent, cure, treat disease. This guy certainly, this gentleman,
Yes.
well regarded and respected by many, had said it, and it is true that they knew about black seed in the Middle East for a long time. It's becoming popular here. There's so much historical value there where they did use it. The Islamic uh, doctors in as early as the 12th and 13th century. There's all this literature, and they were so far ahead of the game at that time, and they were using black seed successfully for many things, and that literature still exists.
Incredible. And what would be the big difference from that one that we just had pulled up there? The classic oil of black seed and then like the black seed cardio plus.
Sure, yeah. Well, then, and it being Turkish black seed, we love that. It's very aromatic. It depends on where you get it in the world. It matters, just like olive oil. But if you're using the black seed cardio, for example, that has pomegranate and muscadine grape to further help your heart situation. So, for example, plaque buildup causes that terrible arterial stiffness, which you can get that test for. And the thing about it, if you leave that unchecked, that could lead to a heart attack. That can lead to some very serious adverse events in your heart. But the good thing is you can get it checked. And if you have the plaque, they've found in a lot of the studies that it is one of the best cleansers, natural cleansers of plaque in your miles of arteries that we all have in our body. So, and it tastes good. So putting the grape and the pomegranate actually help overcome the taste of the black seed while enhancing its heart support abilities in that heart muscle blood pressure kind of area.
Amazing. Yeah, perfect. I did want to highlight, if we can, the OregaRESP. A lot of people are dealing with respiratory issues. We've done different types of IVs for that. You can do nebulizers. I've even had people do steam inhalations where they just fill up just a bowl with hot water, distilled water ideally, the cleanest, purest water, towel over the head, drop some essential oils in there, and then breathe that in deeply. Imagine they do that with some tea tree eucalyptus, and then they take something like OregaRESP as an option. Again, we're not giving advice, but just some things that have worked historically for other people. What's the OregaRESP?
Yeah, so there's so many things that can hit our respiratory area. There's so many different things that attack us, and you don't have the protective mechanisms like you do in the digestion system or the immune system in the respiratory area. So it's very vulnerable, and you know that well if you've been around on this earth long enough. But we do like the OregaRESP because the potency of the formula. So we use the Oreganol P73 and other wild mountain spices, and we've tested the ones that had the best activities against the problems that plague us for our respiratory function. And so that's oregano, cumin, sage, ginger, and cinnamon. And so with that group, what we did is we started with a 100% spice oil. So that means maximum potency essential oil. And we dry this with a fiber, inert material, into a powder. So simply put, we take a 100% essential oil, full strength, without any carrier. We, other than the fiber that goes with it, dry it into a powder for maximum potency. So this is 100 times more potent than just taking, let's say, the same ingredients and chewing on them, like taking some cinnamon powder and chewing on some sage leaves. And that's why it's so effective. And so you can use this to oxygenate your body, breathe better. You can use it to help with the mucus, add the antioxidants for recovering the tissues and the membranes, and then, of course, the inflammation response that you get and the overall immunity that to activate your immune system.
Yeah, folks, don't sleep on the OregaRESP, folks. We have the gel caps, powder caps. We even have the OregaRESP P73 oil, and they call it here the strongest of all the wild spice formulas, the original desiccated multiple spice oil complex, ultra potent support for the immune and respiratory systems. Stan the Demo Man hands this one out like candy. This is one of his favorite ones. It's a powerful product, and I'll just click the gel caps here just so you can see it visually as well. And you mentioned there's the ginger, cinnamon in there, and let me see, the oregano, of course, hence the name OregaRESP, but then the cumin as well with sage. So any kind of congestion, what would be some major symptoms, like top 5 that you've seen people benefit from this? Always work with your doctor.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, congestion and mucus buildup, it's very helpful for that. I see a big difference in people using that, especially if you catch it early
Yeah.
versus if you wait, or you're not doing it. Um, for the last 4 years, it's grown in popularity. This is something we do proactive so that we
Yeah.
don't get to go down in the first place. But in terms of helping with your oxygenation, helping you breathe better. Also, when you do have, whether it's an infection or in the case of bronchitis, let's just pick on that. That's inflammation of your bronchial tract, right?
Yeah.
So these spices, they're very inflammation supporting, and they help you in that way to bring that inflammation to a more manageable stage. That takes the pressure off your immune system, because you've got to, when inflammation is high, the immune system is basically held down, kind of pinned down, kind of paralyzed. So if you can work on that, and then the antioxidant mechanism is extremely, extremely high as well. It's incredible. I mean, there's so much I would like to say
Right.
in the studies, but I can't go deeply into it for claims. But one thing we like to say is, in terms of potency, one capsule is like 50 drops of the oregano oil.
Wow.
So to be able to deliver that kind of potency to you in our strongest multiple spice formula that directly targets respiratory immune, like I said, it's been really popular over the last 4 or so years.
Amazing. It is North American. This is straight from Oreganol.com. North American Urban Spice's most potent formula, due to the low temperature desiccation and state-of-the-art drying technique that concentrates the oil so much that, just like Steven said, one cap is equivalent to 50 drops of oregano. I didn't know that, to be honest. Well, I forgot it. We've mentioned it before over the radio, and we've talked in previous episodes on OregaRESP, but thanks for reminding me on that. 50 drops of oregano oil. Try taking that orally. Your tongue would fall off. So all that into one capsule. 2 soft gels is a serving size suggestion. So amazing. And that brings us right to the end of our segment. Once Steven and I get going, 27 minutes just flies by. What do you want to leave us with, my friend, on this episode here?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that we covered.
Yeah, we hit on the cardiovascular health here. We hit on how important zinc is for both men and women, the prostate, and even Pumpkinol. I'm glad we slipped that in there too, as a reminder that we have the pumpkin oil there, and how important that could be for cholesterol too, and much more. So any last words of wisdom?
I don't have to remind you about vitamin C. I think the whole world knows how important that is. Right. Always get it real from food. The synthetic stuff just doesn't work as well, in our opinion. And then the absorption factor and everything, the cofactors that you need from food, nature knows best. So make sure you're taking your vitamin C, but also vitamin A and D. I'll leave you with that. Don't forget about these. Vitamin A in its active form can only come from an animal source. This makes it really difficult to get in foods. The beef liver and the salmon oil we do, so purely liver and also polar power, the salmon oil, has high amounts of both A and D together. Yet having them together helps with the absorption factor. And then it's going to, with the zinc and the oregano, thank me later, because it works. It's a great
perfect
combination.
And you did mention the vitamin C and that purely zinc. There's the camu camu in there, which 2 tablespoons of that powder gives you 300% of your daily need for vitamin C. So keep that in mind as well. The purely zinc is not just zinc. That's a good reminder. Well, there we go, my friend. Thanks so much for coming on, and I look forward to our next monthly check-in, brother.
You too. Take care.